I mean, you don't have to. But... I wish standing up wasn't so arduous.
That night at the party, my feet were killing me by the time it ended.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is. Oh, right. I'm worthless and weak.
I wasn't going to say it, but I tend to agree. Jamie says, any guess when the Surface Book 3 will be released? Yeah, the spring. Pretty sure. I think. Maybe.
Right. You heard that it was nothing, right? Like just they did tell me they were doing it.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't say anything about it, but you heard it was just like the same form factor, basically.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to see a studio refresh at that time. We'll see though. We'll see. This is my...
Let's see.
Yeah. I need to buy a table. I just don't want to. That will go like right there, so that I know you can tell where I'm pointing at that nebulous area beyond the camera. That way I can move the monitor that's over there where your ugly face is to the one over there. Yeah, again, I was just seeing if you're listening. I will do that someday, but that day is not today. I don't think. My wife will come home and be like, what is that? All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, because I apparently hit the wrong button. We're back-ish. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I assume that's water and not vodka.
Yeah. No, it's iced latte.
Oh, iced latte. Very, very cool of you.
Yeah. I learned today that you can go to the gym and not sweat. I had a lackluster workout.
I was going to say, what a workout.
I don't think Fitbit even registered it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what Fitbit would register, though? This message by Smart Deploy. Windows 7 end of life is around the corner. Smart Deploy will help you migrate to Windows 10 and manage those pesky Windows updates. Claim your free Smart Deploy licenses worth over $700 at smartdeploy.com/theroute. And that link is down below.
You know, in Skype, if you're not in the Skype application, it pops up a little preview window or whatever, like a picture-in-picture kind of deal.
Yep.
And it's a lot like when you use an Android phone and you have maps. And I don't know if you know this. If you're using maps to navigate and you go to a different app, the maps comes up in a little picture-in-picture thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of cool, right? Because you always need to have that on a screen. But it's always in the wrong place. And that's true of the Skype preview window, or whatever you want to call that thing. And you can move it. Of course, it's a window, but it never retains that
it doesn't stick.
Yeah. Why would it keep going back to the same place? I just told you I don't want you there.
Maybe they could build that feature into Power Apps and call it Fancy Stick.
Brad, that was pretty good. Sorry. Even I, a non-professional programmer, have the skill necessary to retain the position of an application window. Like I know how to write that.
We should.
Microsoft should know how to write that.
Yeah. You could maybe write them a letter.
Send it in the
stamp
post.
on there.
Yep.
Right
Dear Skype.
Dear Satya. Please forward to the Skype department. It was yeah. They're also sending out more xCloud invites today. So if you have not gotten one, make sure to check that out. You might.
Any word on when they're going to add more games?
No, that's a good question. I mean, I guess the question for them is what type of game should they add that needs to be tested? Maybe a Forza, which I'm honestly surprised isn't there already.
That's a good point. Plus, that was like the first game they ever demoed, I think, right?
That's like all they've ever really demoed on stage is Forza.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I'd also like to see this work on bigger devices. Although I guess technically, if you had an Android tablet, it should work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people I think have been using it on a Fire tablet.
Oh. Yeah, I find a phone screen to be kind of small. If you think about all of the UI that could be in a game, like a shooter, you have stuff all around the corners and stuff. I can't see that stuff on a smartphone screen. It's just too small.
Yeah.
There's nothing quite like a middle-aged man hunched over a phone with his reading glasses on,
just looking through the bifocal
trying to hold it. Yeah, it's not a good look.
It's perfect as long as you have your corncob pipe at the same time while you're swearing at the kids while playing Halo 5.
I have an Afghan over my lap and dogs curled up at my feet.
The bigger question, though, as Jamie points out in the chat room, is when are we going to get this on iOS? Because I can't imagine they're just going to ignore those folks. That's
right. Actually, that would solve my problem right there. I have an iPad. It'd be great.
Oh, yeah. I wonder. Yeah, I can't imagine that's why they're doing it, but
there is nothing special about this that should preclude it from not working on other platforms. Like this is not one of those, everything works better on Android, so we're doing it. I mean, it's just an app. There's no reason this couldn't be there now. Yeah, I don't know.
The only thing I can think of is maybe they have some debugging tied to it that they get.
Okay. Fair enough.
Maybe
Apple must have really sophisticated capabilities, though, for app developers for that kind of thing.
Yeah, you'd think so. And then you'd think they'd use them internally before they ship 13.2, but, you know.
You mean 13.0, 13.01, 13.02, 13.1, 3.1? Yeah. You know, the 17 releases of, how many releases of iOS 13 does it take to get iOS 13 right?
We're going to find out because they're not there yet.
Yeah.
They are. They're not there yet, and then we're going to get the rumors and the leaks that iOS 14, not many visual changes. They're gonna harden it down.
They're going to solve all the problems. It's going to be great.
Which is like
they'll be applauded for it.
Yeah, it's like the fourth time they've done that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe just slow it down. Slow down the update train. We don't have to.
Everyone should do that. Hey, Microsoft, you listening? We love you. This comes from a place of love.
Yes. Yes, you got to get through the thick mist of hatred.
Stop. Yeah.
But it's back there somewhere. We promise you. It's back there somewhere. You know what else is also back there and great and other wonderful things that CEOs say? The Sony PlayStation guy said, "Hey, we hope people buy the PlayStation 5."
Why even write that story? Obviously, that's what he hopes.
Yes.
You know, it's like PlayStation boss hopes that PlayStation 4 owners upgrade quickly to PlayStation 5 and other stories no one needed to ever read. Like, obviously.
Ford hopes to sell cars next month. Yep. That's
crazy.
It really is. It really is. And yet, here we are.
Yep.
Here we are. I think Ignite is still technically going on.
Yeah. I just saw a post from Ignite. Yeah. Yep.
There's probably people still lost down there too. Just never made it to a session. Just wandering.
Yeah. It was nice not to wake up in air conditioning this morning. Although I still froze my ass off because I left the window open a crack, and I don't know what it's like where you live, but apparently winter has descended upon us.
It is 34 degrees.
Yeah. And it's got to be at least 36 here. It's not much more.
My brand new furnace that I'm staring at got quite the workout.
Dude, it's exactly 36. That's classic. Oh, boy. Yeah. I see one day in the next week that gets into the 50s. And jeez.
Yeah, that's a little early. There wasn't. There wasn't much fall, but it didn't really help that yesterday we couldn't even go outside because it was so hot and humid, or the day before. Whenever it feels like it's, I don't know, November 89th. I don't know what day today is anymore. But well, I got screwed up because we flew down there on a Sunday, which to me felt like a Monday. I actually woke up I woke up this morning and I was mad at my wife for waking me up. I was like, "What are you doing? It's Sat." It's not, is it?
I actually, that's funny. Okay, so I would have brought this up otherwise, but I also was mad at my wife this morning for waking me up, and also for the same reason. It's just like, seriously, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. Yeah, today's not a day off.
Yep. And so that really threw me off, and then it was like 85 degrees and like 95% humidity down there.
It was hot.
And then I landed after what was a fun flight. It was relatively rocky. Just
let's see if I can find this picture. I told you about my flight delays, did I? I don't remember. I was asleep on yesterday's show. So when I flew home, no problems to the plane. Everything was great. And guy gets on the horn. He's like, "Hey, we're going to land 15 minutes early."
Oh, yeah. You did message this.
I just want to see if I can find this picture.
Mentioned this.
So my wife, I don't know if this will. Well, this probably won't. This, yeah, you can kind of see.
Oh, that's your flight path.
That's my flight path right now. That was only partway through the flight. Mm-hmm. I should probably have tried to find. My wife sent me. She texted this to me. She's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Actually, we're still. We circled the airport like 3 times before we landed."
Hmm.
And the guy, he got on and he said, I can't remember this exactly right, but he said something like, "Guys, I've been flying 40 years and I have never seen a line of planes waiting to land at an airport like this. It must have been like the end of Die Hard 2, like it's just crazy." But anyway,
where were
it's
you
all right.
flying into?
Philadelphia.
Okay.
So the second half of the story, which I'll now bore you with briefly,
thank you,
is because we landed late. I was like, well, I'll just eat lunch quickly at the airport before I head home. And I can't. I'm not going to bother describing the Philly airport other than to say it's terrible. And the part of Terminal A that I landed at it was like a salad restaurant and some other stupid thing. So I looked at the map and it said if I go way down the end of A, which actually is across from where my car was parked, so that seemed like it was logical, there was a food court. And I went down there and there was a sushi restaurant. And that was it. Now, and people probably know I love sushi, but I just wanted something quick, and I was like, oh, frick it. So I'm like, short version again, twice food was delivered to me that was someone else's food. And then they sent me the wrong thing. And then I was like, and they were really apologetic and they wanted to make me the right thing. I was like, no, I really got to go. So I just ate whatever it was they gave me. But I was so far down the end of the Terminal A. Anyone who knows Philly will appreciate the story. You had to walk like a mile back to find a bridge. But because my car was really down there, see, they had a bridge from that part of the airport, that part of the parking garage to the airport. But it's only a one-way bridge. You can't go out on it because it's like that's the international area, I guess. And I had to walk all the way down to I don't know if it's probably A West, maybe, I don't remember, but AE. So I was in A West. It was just, dude, it took me forever to get home. And like when you texted me, because you were like, "Hey, we got to do the show today. Where are you?" And I'm like, "I'm in the airport." I was like, then I left. My wife, I called Stephanie, my wife, and missed my exit. And the Google Map thing, I drove into Philadelphia. It literally said, like in a flash on Google Maps, the time for my drive home went up by 20 minutes from this screw up. So just in case you think I just get lost driving around or walking around with you at trade shows, no, this is apparently a lifelong everyday
problem for Paul.
That's why I work from home. I don't usually get lost going to the bathroom or finding my bed, but anything more complicated than that, apparently difficult.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't expect anything less.
Sorry. It was dumb. It was just dumb.
So, anyways, I don't know. You got anything going on this weekend?
No, I actually want to catch up on some Ignite conference sessions. If you believe that. There was one. Rich Woods just posted something about Microsoft's plans for OneNote, how they're going to handle that. I think that's kind of interesting. I want to look at some of the Power App stuff. I want to look at there's a future Windows thing that the Insiders guys did, which I think might have been the session where they announced that thing where they're going to allow third-party apps to update through Windows Update, which I think is kind of interesting.
Oh, that is dangerous, but sneaky, maybe.
Well, but this goes back to the origins of Windows Update, which I think debuted in Windows 98. I could be misremembering that, but I think it did. And that was kind of the plan all along. Like, it was going to be the place where everyone did everything from, and it kind of never happened. I mean, there was some Adobe stuff in there, but yeah. So anyway, I that's not my whole weekend, but I mean, that's where my head's at right now. I don't know. What about you, Brad?
Well,
Other than sleeping in a fetal position for most of it.
Most of it. There's going to be quite a bit of that. As I look around my office, I need to finish up some of the electrical down here. You can't see it from that side of the camera, but there's some trip light
Maybe
hazards.
we could see it, Brad.
Yeah.
You should figure out a way to show us this.
No, it's unless you want to look at a furnace.
I don't mean
water
like
heater,
seconds, but at some
my
point.
server
Take a
rack
picture
that
of it.
sits right. It's not even a server rack. It's just
Flip your camera, take a picture, put the picture up on the screen.
Yeah, because
Technology in action.
yeah, that's not happening. Because like I gotta turn the camera and I can't just. I don't even have my phone on me for that matter.
Right.
So I need to finish up some of that wiring. There's actually a light right here that is unplugged and disconnected, and I'm going to take it out because I no longer need it. I'm going to put it somewhere else in the basement. Maybe a little painting down here. Tempted to go get a paint sprayer to do the rest of this. We're putting Kills, if anybody's familiar with that. It's a paint primer, kind of mold protectant thing on all the basement walls before we cover them up for hopefully decades to come. Figured that's probably not a bad idea. And then,
That is a good idea.
I don't know if we'll get that far or not. I am feeling incredibly lazy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be the biggest problem.
Yeah. And then after that, so I got to devise a strategy. I think not this weekend, but next weekend I'm going to try to do the HVAC stuff, the runs, get rid of the old one, add the new one. And I think the weekend after that, I'll try to put the shower in the bathroom down here and the new toilet. And then after that, I think I'm ready to start ordering or putting up drywall. Well, the insulation and then the drywall on the walls.
Yeah.
And so what I think the plan is currently to possibly try to do that over like Thanksgiving, like around that time, because we have a couple days off, and I think my father-in-law, who's probably going to be helping me, will have a couple days off. And if all goes well, after we get done murdering people on Black Friday, that weekend will involve having drywall up on everything, and then that'll be a huge step. That'll take several days.
Do you have your eye on anything for Black Friday?
Kind of TVs, I think, because I'm going to need one for downstairs, which is one of the problems I have in this office right now is that my Xbox is hooked up to this TV, and so when I play with my friends and I want to scream at people, I come down here rather than playing upstairs.
Yeah, no, you need something upstairs.
But the problem with that is that I have to move the mic, I have to move the camera, I have to move everything, so kind of got to reset up. And so we're going to get another TV, which is what we're building this basement for, like a TV area.
I tried to play video games on that same TV when we first got them, and you have to sit so far away from it. It's like, it's just too big. You can't sit right in front of it. You can't be like, it's not like a movie. Like, I find it very hard to.
In front of it.
Okay, fine.
Anyways, so I would like to get a TV over there, and we might replace some of the other TVs up, just because I bet I can spend $1,000 and get 3 TVs, 2 of them that are 55-inch and one that is like 37-inch. That's all I need for $1,000. I bet I can do it. All 4K. I don't need anything else that's on the TV. I'm probably not getting an OLED TV. I just
Yeah.
just TVs. Just dumb TVs.
The only thing to look at is just make sure you get one that has the right refresh rate for games. I don't know if that's still an issue, but it has been an issue.
Yeah. Most of them are, I think, anyway.
Probably, yeah.
The main things I need are 4K, but I think I'd have trouble finding a TV of that size that's not 4K at this point. HDR capable, and then...
you got to get, HDR, whatever the right one is, HDR 10 or something.
Yeah.
For Xbox.
And then that's it.
Yep.
I don't need apps. I'm going to plug an Apple TV into it. It will never see anything other than an Apple TV. The TV probably won't even be connected. Like physically, the TV will not be connected to the internet. Just the Apple TV, and then that's it.
Speaking of which, aren't we? We must be just days away from the Disney thing going live, right?
November 12th, I think.
12th. I was just bemoaning the fact last night that I didn't with my wife that we don't have a show to watch right now. I don't think we can hold out that. Well, I don't know. The weekend we don't really watch
that
TV.
Actually reminds me of something else. Well, because I think my wife is buying tickets so that we can go see Frozen 2 on Wednesday of Thanksgiving, which is going to be dab smack in the middle of drywall season, potentially.
Drywall season. Oh, man.
Followed not long after, known as the wet season, which is known as mudding season.
The mudding season.
Yeah, that's going to be... That's...
Yeah, around here it's more of a muddling season, which has a kind of a cocktail thing, but...
Yeah, I'm not looking forward so much to the drywall stuff. Hanging the drywall, maybe not so bad. The mudding,
I don't think hanging drywall, I don't think I would have a problem with. It's the detail work. I think we talked about this. The taping of the seams and getting that to be, I would have difficulty with that.
And I will have difficulty with that. There's no question about it. But it's the basement. Like, it's...
Yep. Yeah, even if honestly, even if it was just bare drywall, it's like, who cares?
Well, compared to what we have, anything will be better than cinder block. So.
Right.
So there we go. All right, Paul, you got anything else for today?
No, I mean, I'm working on apps, Paul. That will happen sometime today. I've also been working on Call of Duty because, like you, I'm feeling lazy. Also, they released a major update to the game, so it was fun waiting for that to download. But actually, they seem to have improved it quite a bit, so that's kind of cool. But I don't know. I just don't feel there's not a lot of energy here.
Well, that's the other thing I might do this weekend is run the Ethernet to the places I think I'll need it, and then once I get it all done, start swearing that I didn't run enough. Yeah,
so you just outlined on this show an incredible amount of work that's going to occur over about a month.
Yep.
And when all of that is done, and I'm sure it'll be incredible and that you're very handy and you're going to do all this stuff, I still will not have run one Ethernet line from below there to over here or whatever. But I think about it. It's in my head. Like, I feel like it is going to happen. But I'm thinking it's like a 2020 target.
Yeah, that's a good...
sometime.
Like, the question I'm trying to figure out now is how many Ethernet cables do I need in the entertainment center? I'm thinking it's going to be at least 2, because one for the Apple TV, one for the Xbox, and then I could potentially see a third.
Well, you just need one connection and then a switch.
I could do a switch, but I'd rather just... I mean, I've got
you really want to just run actual different wire speed.
Yeah, I've got a 24-port switch over here.
Oh, I got you. All right. I mean, obviously do whatever you want, but I would just run the one personally. I would just think about running the one. I wouldn't even do it, but
I might sketch it on a paper and then.
Yeah.
So definitely 2, and then I need to run 2 to over where I'll eventually be moving my office to. And then I think that's it until I forget something. But I might run a third over to the entertainment center, because if I get a Sonos speaker, it's nice to have that stuff a hard wire over. I got some thinking to do. So.
Before we go, Brad, you posted the behind the scenes video again.
Oh yeah.
Amazing job. I had nothing to do with it other than walking around like a goon with you during the show, of course. But I think maybe I enjoyed it a little too much because it's like us or whatever, and we're just screwing around the whole time. But I always just the way you do these things, I always think is pretty great. So I mean, that came out great. If you're a premium customer, you should check it out.
And by came out great, he means literally 4:3, because for whatever reason the camera was set on that aspect ratio.
Yeah, right.
I have no idea why.
That's fine. Who cares?
But it worked. Fine. I think it's more authentic when we slightly screw one aspect up of anything we were working on.
Yes. Right. It's the level of quality one has come to expect from us.
Yep. And if you are looking for quality stuff, folks, there's a link down to Smart Deploy. They can help you get your deployments to Windows 10, which that end of life is coming up here mid-January. So I don't know if Paul's going to run his Ethernet line or Windows 7 will expire, reach end of life. One of those two things will happen here. But grab those links from Smart Deploy. It's $100 or $720 offer, and we'll catch all of you right back here next time.
Yeah.
I believe.
It's possible that a friend or brother-in-law or someone will just make this happen for me, and I won't, they'll, because if it was just me, I don't know. My wife and daughter could probably cobble this together more quickly than I could.
Got the cables.
Yeah.
Okay, I think this is like a 25-footer. Yep. Cat 5e. And this is a 50-footer. Now people are going to be like, well, why aren't you running Giganet? Giganet. Gigabit. It's like, well, first off, my router's not it, and it's still... This will do a gig. I don't need 10 gig.
Right. Sure.
I don't...
You couldn't really... It wouldn't really do anything, probably.
I don't, my internet maxes out at a gig, so that's as fast as it can go.
Yep.
Which, even that is a little bit ludicrous. So, all right. Later.
I'll be around, if in body, if not in heart. Bye.